So last week we have started this theme that, when life hurts, we have to take the ultimate shelter, that is Krishna. So we spoke that more than the world's power to hurt us is Krishna's power to heal us. So Krishna is more powerful than anything in this world that can hurt us. And whenever we are going through the troubles, whenever we are going through some threatening situations, maybe it is like death or a major injury or major hurt from a person, whatever it may be. So we should not focus on the wrongdoer, but we should focus on the ultimate doer, that is Krishna. Okay, because people who are giving us the hurt, those are actually just simple instruments of the destiny. Okay, so we have some karma, and to that we have to get some pains and some pleasures, and people who are coming are just instruments of our own karma. So rather than focusing on them, just blaming them, just being struck with them, having grudges about them, we should actually move ahead. We should try to move ahead. Okay, so in that context today, like last week, we told about how small mistakes can create very big consequences, catastrophic consequences. Like Parikshit Maharaj done a little mistake of that, putting a dead snake as a garland on Shamik Rishi. And because of that, his son Shringi has immaturity in the handling his Brahminical powers. And he thought like he'll be doing Krishna's will, God's will. And he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so okay, so he has cursed Parikshit Maharaj, and because of that, Parikshit Maharaj has to die in 7 days. So Parikshit Maharaj, rather than blaming Shamik Rishi or Shringi or himself, he just goes and takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So he takes shelter of Krishna, and what happens is he goes back home, back to Godhead. So today we will talk about the topic, like in the earlier topic, we spoke about small mistake, big consequences. Okay. But today when we are talking about Gajendra, actually Gajendra has done no mistake. Okay. So, but in our life, sometimes we don't do any mistake, but still there are some people or some conditions like they are on a mission to hurt us. They are like a mission to destroy us. Okay, so sometimes we will face such situations. Maybe some of you have already faced or facing this kind of situation, or maybe in future you might face. So you have not done any mistake, but some person is just against you. Okay, and he is just torturing you, tormenting you. So like that was the situation of Gajendra when he was caught by that crocodile. Okay, so before we go there, we'll try to understand the theme of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam is such a wonderful scripture that Srila Vyasadeva has written this at the ripened age of him. Like, after writing Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, he has wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was very much dissatisfied with whatever he has done, and because he could not glorify the Lord much. So Narada Muni gives him the instruction, and he just writes the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he'll be fully satisfied with that. So Vedavyas, where Vedavyas can find full satisfaction, you can understand what will be the level of that scripture. Okay, so if we talk about the theme of Srimad Bhagavatam, it talks about most of the personalities or the great devotees who are kings. Okay, if we take the example of Dhruva Maharaj or Gajendra, or if we consider Prahlad Maharaj or Prithu Maharaj or Rishabhadeva, all these people are like kings. Okay, so most of the times, actually, spiritually advanced people are generally the saints who are the sannyasis who are serving the Lord exclusively. But most of the times, we don't derive any inspiration to become like saints. Okay, yeah, we want blessings from the saints, saintly people, but we don't want to become like them. It is very too difficult. It is too otherworldly. But we will have a desire that, kings will be something which we can, desire of, because of royalty, because of riches, etc. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that how these great personalities who are kings, in their extremely difficult position, has taken the shelter of God. So if we see the example of Parikshit Maharaj, it was a very extremely difficult situation. He has to die and he has taken shelter. When we talk about the case of Dhruva Maharaj, he was also like got dishonored. Okay, so all you heard about Dhruva Maharaj, what happened? At
Yes,
least little bit.
Prabhuji, little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Dhruva Maharaj got insulted by his stepmother, and because of that, he felt like his life is unbearable. So even this Dhruva Maharaj was a Kshatriya, a 5-year-old boy, but Kshatriya blood was there. So, for a Kshatriya, dishonor is worse than death. So what he did, he just went to forest to gain the kingdom, which is greater than his great grandfather. So even though if we see the Bhagavatam, it doesn't relish so much about how he got the kingdom or how he enjoyed the riches, etc. But it focus on how he has departed the world, how he has gone back home, back to Godhead. So if we see different pastimes also, they mostly focus on how these exalted devotees has departed from the world. Like Parikshit Maharaj also, he was listening for 7 days Srimad Bhagavatam, and at the end, he has departed to the spiritual world. That is, he has gone back home, back to Godhead. So, what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us that in the extreme difficult conditions, sometimes life puts us in front of some situations which we are unable to bear, unable to handle. That time, rather than shrinking our consciousness, rather than shrinking our consciousness to the wrongdoer or the person who is attacking us, we have to expand our consciousness and take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So, this is a very important point that we're going to learn, that most of the time, what happens is whatever we are attached to, our consciousness will get shrink into that. Okay. Suppose if someone is attached to the money, okay, so there was an anecdote like in a village, there was a stingy money lender. Okay. So he always thinks about how to lend money, how to make more money and all. So one day what happened is this person, wherever he was living, so in that village, suddenly the dam got broke. Okay. And people were running here and there to save their lives. And one person came running to him and told, like, the dam got broken. It is a very difficult situation. And when he heard that, the stingy moneylender, what was his question? He asked, dam has broke. Is this good for money lending or is it bad for money lending? So he's too attached to money. He was not seeing anything else. So similarly, when in the 90s, when there was a 90s or 2000, where was a serial blast in the Mumbai local trains. Okay, I think more than 10 or 20 blasts were there. So that time India-Pakistan match was there and that got cancelled. So there was a friend who has told, because of this bomb blast, India-Pakistan match got cancelled. So he was not thinking about how many people died or what is the consequences, but he was too caught in his passion for cricket that he was worried that match got cancelled. So similarly, no matter what happens around the world, we are so much concentratedly stuck in our own attachment. If we are attached to money, we will only think about money terms. If we are attached to cricket, we will only think about cricket. Like Duryodhana was so much struck with a feeling that, the Pandavas has to be killed. He could not see whether it is right or wrong. He was just stuck with his own attachment. Similarly, Dhritarashtra was struck with his attachment to his son. So our attachment will actually shrink our consciousness. Normally, without attachment, we can actually have an expanded consciousness. So Srimad Bhagavatam, by through all these pastimes, tells us that we should not shrink our consciousness. We should expand our consciousness, because no matter small or big, whatever attachments we have, that will bring misery to us. That means if we are not attached to Krishna, apart from Krishna, whatever we are attached to, that can become a reason for our misery. So that was the case of Gajendra. He was actually a powerful king. Okay. So now understanding Gajendra pastime involves so many complications, because first thing, he is an elephant. Okay. And even in the elephant body, he has human like consciousness, and he is not living on the earthly planet. He is living into somewhere in the higher planets near the Kshirasagar. And the descriptions in the Bhagavatam, it says that he was living near a mountain called as Trikuta mountain. And that Trikuta mountain height was 10,000 yojanas. Okay, 1 yojana equal to 8 miles. So 10,000 yojanas means how many miles? Any math scholars? 1 yojana equal to 8 miles. Then 10,000 yojanas means how many miles? 80,000 miles, right?
80,000 miles.
Okay. So 80,000 miles was the height of the mountain. And it is also being said the width of that mountain is also equal to the height of that mountain. So sometimes when we're going through Bhagavatam, we will have amazing descriptions about the surroundings, like how long it was and all. And the fight between that crocodile and elephant has lasted for 1,000 years. Okay. So when we hear about these figures, what will happen is sometimes our faith gets struck. How can a mountain will be so long? How can an elephant and crocodile can fight for 1,000 years? Because we have a lifetime of 100 years. So what will happen is we will see only through our perspective, our experience. So it is not important that we should get stuck with all these big figures or something unbelievable descriptions. What we have to focus on is what is the principle or what is the purpose of that particular pastime and what it can teach me and how I can implement that in my life and make my life better. How can I become more Krishna conscious and go ahead? So we were talking about Gajendra. So Gajendra was like a powerful king, okay, in that vicinity near the Kshirosagar. So there was a lake, and nearby that he was having his whole kingdom over there. So this guy was so powerful that, the king of the jungle is generally known as lion. But here in the Gajendra pastime, Gajendra was so powerful that even the lions could not come in front of him. They just do some dandavat from the distance only and they'll just go away. So no one could come in front of him. He was so powerful. He was so luxurious. Okay. So when we talk about luxury in the animal kingdom, we can say like, he was like drinking an animal equivalent of high quality wine over there. Okay. He was having a lavish family life. Okay. So much prosperity. And he was just enjoying over there. And one day, what happened? Just to do sporting. Okay. So he wanted to play with his family. He went into a river, nearby river. And in general, actually, he didn't go to, quench his thirst, but he went to play. So he started playing. He was throwing water with his trunk on his family, and his family was also reciprocating. So it was an enjoying moment. But suddenly, he caught by a crocodile and he was unable to move his feet. So when he saw down, he saw like there was a crocodile. And Gajendra thought, you know, how much this small crocodile can hurt me. So he tried to hurl away and he felt like it has gone, it has flown away. But the crocodile didn't leave its cot. It was still there. So Gajendra was actually going through a normal life. But suddenly this crocodile came and started troubling him. So this crocodile was so powerful that Gajendra could not able to move his feet properly. He was not able to release himself from that cord. So similarly, this crocodile in our life is like our conditionings and our conditions. Conditioning means our habits, our impressions that we have, our addictions that we have. So sometimes we feel like we can get over with our habits, but our habits are so powerfully caught by us that even if we try to give up some things, we are not able to give up. Just like that crocodile's caught, we are also caught with our habits. After becoming Krishna conscious, we wanted to do so many good things. We want to give up this thing, that thing. We want to wake up early in the morning. We want to practice so many things. But our conditioning will not allow us to do. They are just keep on troubling us. No matter how much we try, we find ourselves as very powerless and we are feeling like, these conditionings will not leave me. And sometimes conditions, the external conditions or the people are so much that we want to get rid of people. We want to have a peaceful relationship. But some people are like completely unforgiving. Okay. Though we have no mistake, still they consider even our sometimes good works also, good words also in a wrong way. And that's just on a mission to destroy us, mission to hurt us. So just like this crocodile, we have conditions and conditioning in our life. And for that, we sometimes feel like we have enough power to get rid of all this. But even after trying for so much, we cannot get rid of it. So during this fight between crocodile and this elephant, Gajendra, His family tries to rescue him. Okay, they try to, connect with the trunk. They try to pull him from the leg, from the backside. But after some time, all his family members and friends comes to a conclusion that we cannot save him. So Gajendra was a so powerful elephant. He was having an amazing, luxurious life. Suddenly came across this trouble, and he could find himself into a situation where no one can help him. And slowly this fight continued, and slowly he started losing power, because elephant is an earthly animal and crocodile is like a aquatic animal. So when crocodile is in the water, it is very powerful. When elephant is in the water, it is like a foreign land. So this crocodile was getting good food, good energy, and it was like full on power. And this elephant was losing its power because it was not able to get food, and it was foreign land, and he was losing so much of power over there. So what has happened is, though he had a good herd of his family, good luxury all around us, but all of them could not save him. Okay, so here one thing we have to learn over here is that we are all alone in this world. We all have to go through our karma alone. Okay, so this has to be understood very carefully and in a proper way. So when we say we are alone, then we might get a question why we should build any relationships if we have to suffer our own karma. And if we build relationships, do others' karma will also impact us? So here what we have to understand is, when we have relationships, when we have family, friends, they might help us to go through our karma, but they cannot take our karma. So similarly here, their family members tried to save him. They tried to save him from that particular karma, what he's going through, that pain, everything, but they could not save. So when we are in the situation where no one can save us, we have to look up to the ultimate doer, that is Krishna. He can only give us the shelter. He can only protect us. So before we going ahead, let us understand that this Gajendra, why he has to go through this struggle, and how come this Gajendra can take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Because we know that animals cannot practice spiritual life. So how come Gajendra can remember prayers and can offer prayers to the Lord and can take shelter of the Lord? So to understand this, we have to know who was Gajendra in his past life. So Gajendra was the king Indradumna in his past life, and he has practiced his spiritual life properly. He has given up his kingdom. He went to the forest, and one day he was meditating. So during that time, one saint, Agastya Rishi, came. And just like how Parikshit Maharaj, when he came, Shamika Rishi didn't notice. Similarly, when Agastya Muni came, this Indradumna Maharaj could not notice. So Agastya Rishi got very angry because he was Atithi, right? Now, Atithi means the one who comes without Tithi. Okay, that is Atithi. So he came, and Atithi has to be respected, given all the offerings, etc. But this man was actually meditating. He could not be aware also that I have come. So then this Agastya Muni got angry, and he cursed Maharaj Indradyumna that you are sitting like a dumb. Okay, so I curse you that you also become like a dumb animal, like an elephant in your next life. So because of that, he actually became elephant. Now, here, when this crisis has come where he has to save his life, whatever spirituality he practiced in past life has come to his rescue. So when we talk about how our past life practices or past life impressions come into this present life, we have to understand one thing, that we might not get the specific recollection of what has happened in the past life. So some people remember their past life, like I used to live over there, I used to meet these people and all. So there are so many cases which being studied by Dr. Ian Stevenson, like how people remember this past life recollection, etc. So here one thing we have to understand is, it is not about specific recollections. What we can remember or what comes to our rescue is our overall disposition. That means if we have practiced spiritual life in our past lives, then some kind of spiritual impressions will be there. Because of that, we will come to know like this is the thing to be done. Across the world, when you meet any devotee, if you ask them that how you have come into Krishna consciousness, you will hear some interesting stories. When I was in Pune, I asked one of the brahmachari, like, how come you have taken a decision to become a brahmachari and stay in the temple? Then he shared, one day I randomly came to this temple. I saw the deities, I heard the kirtan, and I felt like this is my home and this is something I am meant to do. So he might have practiced his Krishna consciousness in the previous life, somewhere else in the temple, somewhere in the some sampradaya or whatever it may be. But when he came to this temple in this lifetime, he had got a feeling like this is my home and this is what I meant to do, nothing else. So similarly, Gajendra, when he had this lifetime crisis, sometimes our past life impressions will spring only when there is a crisis. We generally take shelter of the God or we turn towards spirituality when there is a crisis in our life. Some people who are very advanced in their previous lives, they might start practicing spiritual life. They might get birth in the spiritual families. That is why they don't need any crisis to restart their spiritual journey. But for many of us, it might need some crisis so that we can start our spiritual journey. That is why you can see Krishna also says like four kinds of people will come. And in that one is distressed, Artho. So similarly for Gajendra, he was moving with a life thinking about nothing. What he has practiced in his past life, he was not remembering until he got caught with this crocodile. So when crocodile caught him, he tried with all that he has, with his own strength, with his family, whatever possible, he tried. But when nothing worked, he started looking up. He just remembered the prayers that he used to offer. Now we might get a question. Does Gajendra remembered all the prayers exactly what he chanted in the past life? Not necessarily. Because in one of the prayers, Gajendra says that I am in this body of ignorance. Okay. So now he is in the body of ignorance. He is in the animal body. But earlier he was in the human body, right? So some prayers might be modified. Okay. But the overall disposition of taking shelter is remained same. So he has offered the prayers. He has taken up one flower with his trunk and he has offered to the Lord and he has chanted the prayers. The Lord has come on Garuda and he has lifted this Gajendra. And when he lifted, the crocodile which caught the leg, it also came along. Then Lord Vishnu has sent his Sudarshan Chakra and the neck of the crocodile got cut, and this elephant got liberated. But during these prayers, something amazing happened. Initially, when he wanted to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, he started the prayers to get relief from this crocodile. Okay. But as he started praying, his consciousness got expanded. He said, "Oh Lord, please destroy that which cannot be destroyed by time." So, what is that which cannot be destroyed by time? That is our ignorance. Anything you take, a flower or any item, even the knowledge, over a period of time, it gets destroyed. That is why Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam. So knowledge which has to come in parampara, that has got dissolved. So that is why I have to tell you again. So even knowledge with the time actually goes away. But our ignorance, it won't go with time. It only goes with the mercy of the Lord. So Gajendra actually prays that, "Oh Lord, not to destroy this crocodile or not to liberate me from this crocodile, but actually liberate me from the ignorance." So what happened is, what we have to learn over here is, sometimes when we have problems in our life, when we have people who are creating problem in our life, our whole consciousness gets stuck with them only. We will not be able to perceive the whole world. We are just, these people will become our world. We will be keep thinking on how he is torturing us, how he is troubling us, etc. But we forget that even beyond that person there is world, and still we can take shelter of Krishna, still we can serve. So we might have a question, why this person is doing like to me, why these habits are torturing me. So we ask so many why questions and we get stuck. So what we have to do, we have to ask the question, how can I serve Krishna now? How can I take shelter of Krishna now? Yes, I know this problem is very big. This is torturing me. This person is not letting me go. But how still I can serve Krishna? So here, like Gajendra has asked for Krishna's shelter in that life's crisis. When he was seeking the shelter, his consciousness got expanded. He thought like crocodile is not the problem. The problem is I am into this body of an animal. I am into this material world. That is the biggest problem. So, oh Lord, please liberate me from the biggest problem that I have. So similarly, we might have a financial problem, we might have a relationship problem, we might have so many other problems, but our actual problem is we are in this material world. That is the biggest problem. We are still ignorant. We are still not able to take shelter of the Lord. We are still not devoting ourselves to the Lord sincerely and seriously. That is our biggest problem. So most of the people spend their whole life thinking, I have this problem, that problem, and whole life goes away, and they don't remember that the ultimate problems of life is birth, death, old age, and disease. They think I have this problem, that problem, but as long as you are in this material world, there will be problems. Okay, so what is the solution that we want is how to go beyond this world. And in this situation, always we should think, how can I serve Krishna? So we might get a doubt, like, it is not easy to forgive people. It is not easy to forget people for what they have done and all. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that nirvairaha, that means if we are friendly to all the people, then only we will be liked by Krishna. So those who are not having any inimical behavior towards others, they will come to me. So yeah, because of our past karma only, sometimes some people are like our karmic instrument in a small way. It's like, when you go to take an injection, sometimes the injection is like just a pinprick. Okay, you'll not feel any pain. But some injections, if you take, you'll feel like a lot of pain. Okay, like our corona dose, right? That vaccination, it feels a lot of, and after that also 2 3 days torture will be there. So like that, some people are like lighter instruments of karma. They come and they say something, but still we can handle. But some people are like our concentrated karma. मतलब छोड़ते ही नहीं है. Okay, so they are coming again and again and just torturing us. So similarly, this crocodile was like concentrated karma for Gajendra. Okay, so in our life also, some people will be there who will be like, we have not done anything, still they are coming. If you have heard about this incident, that in the Taj Mahal hotel in the Mumbai, what happened? Hotel Taj or something, yeah? You remember that incident? What happened? Some terrorist came and started shooting, right? So who will think about that situation? Can anyone imagine that we will go to a 5-star hotel and come with wounds, or we never come back, right? So, okay, sorry. So that what happened in the Taj is like what is happening with this Gajendra. He never thought like there will be something like a crocodile which I cannot handle. He was going happy-go-lucky life, and suddenly things have started going in a reverse way. So similarly, those people who went to a 5-star hotel to enjoy the luxury got sudden attack. So life is very, very uncertain in this material world. Lord Brahma says, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam. Every moment there is danger. Okay. We cannot say that, I don't need Krishna right now because I am happy. Okay. When I be in the distress, then I will call out Krishna. So we cannot say like this, because before we realize that this is the time to call out Krishna, we might leave the body. Like those people who are in that Taj hotel, they got suddenly attacked and many people left their body immediately. So we should always be prayerful, and we are actually always have to be taking shelter of Krishna wherever we are in a situation, whether in the happy situation or in a distress situation. Because sometimes, aristocratic people who have money, who have little power in this material world, they think that my life is settled. I don't need any God. Like that was Gajendra. He has never thought that he need to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. He thought like everything is good. I am all powerful. So why we have to learn from this pastime is neither we are having a luxury life nor we are powerful. So what reason we can give to ourselves for not taking shelter of Krishna? We see the examples in Bhagavatam, those are very powerful kings. They have lot of luxury. Still, they had some crisis where they have to take the shelter of Krishna. So in our life, we have daily crisis with people, daily crisis with money, with situation, relationships, and all. So how can we say that we cannot take shelter of Krishna? So taking shelter of Krishna is must and should. And we might get a doubt like, okay, this is always a very good thing to listen, but when we are coming into real life, some people are really tough, we cannot handle them. So that time, how can I think about Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? So we have to understand that service can be done in all the time. Maybe we cannot do a specific service in a specific way, but we can all serve Krishna. If you think that I want to serve Krishna only in this way, with this energy at this time, then we cannot guarantee. But if your intention is like, I want to serve Krishna, then anytime you can serve Krishna. So we have to know these four things. Okay. So you can write down also. So sometimes we serve under others. That means we have some senior Vaishnavas who will be telling us that you have to do this service and all. So sometimes we serve Krishna under others. Sometimes we serve Krishna with others. That means we might, 2-3 devotees come together for some service and we might serve. Okay. And sometimes we serve Krishna by serving others. That means we might be directly serving some senior Vaishnavas or our Guru Maharaj or someone. But the fourth important thing is sometimes we have to serve in spite of others. So there will be people who might become a barrier in our service. Okay. Sometimes they might say something or do something where we will feel like I cannot serve Krishna. Okay. So we should, whether we are serving under others, along with others, or in spite of others, one thing should be very clear, that we are here to serve Krishna. So our service to Krishna should not get blocked by anything. If someone is blocking this way, we should go this way. If someone is blocking like this, we can go like this. So our purpose should be very clear, because sometimes we feel that problems are coming in the way to the service of Krishna. That means I want to serve Krishna, I want to do something, but this problem is coming, this person is coming. But if we think deeply, problems are not only blocking our way, but sometimes problems are the ways to Krishna. When we are unable to perform our service, that time we become more prayerful, more humble, and then we seek Krishna's shelter more. And sometimes by performing a big service also, we might not become Krishna conscious. But sometimes by failing in a small service also, we can become more Krishna conscious. So while performing any service to Krishna, whether it is chanting or doing some service in the temple or serving any Vaishnavas, what we have to remember is getting the things done is important. But more than that, getting Krishna into our heart is more important. If we are getting the things done for Krishna, but we are not getting Krishna in our heart, then no matter how much big service we do, we'll not become more Krishna conscious. Suppose I am giving this class and I'm thinking like how great I am, how amazing class I am giving, then you might transform by listening to my class, but I stay where I am because I am not becoming Krishna conscious. So the part or the purpose of Krishna consciousness and its service is to get Krishna into our heart. So when we are serving God, when we are serving Guru, when we are serving Vaishnavas, that time we have to remember that all this is we are doing so that we can go closer to Krishna. So if we are failing to do some service and we are becoming prayerful, we are becoming humble, still we are successful. Okay. And if we are able to perform a great seva, but we are caught with our own assumptions, our own expectations, our own pride, then we are not going closer to Krishna. So sometimes our activity is to make people go closer to Krishna can keep us away from Krishna also. Did I said? So sometimes our effort to make others go closer to Krishna can keep us away from Krishna. Because in that activity, we are self-centered, not Krishna-centered. So that is why we have to be very careful. that we have to ask ourselves, am I doing this service to go closer to Krishna, or am I just doing this service so that I can prove how great I am? Okay, so why we have to learn all these things? Because tomorrow you all going to do some service. Okay, maybe you might chant more, you might take classes, you might do service in the temple or whatever it may be. That time you may fail to do service, you may succeed to do service, but in any moment you have to ask yourself, am I Krishna conscious or am I self conscious? Am I doing this for service to please Krishna, or am I doing this service to please myself? So if we are asking this question consciously, what will happen is your consciousness will expand. You will not get stuck with your own failures or your own success. If you identify yourself with your success, then you might become proud. If you identify yourself with your failures, you may become morose. You may feel discouraged. So in both way, it is not helpful. Every time you have to identify yourself as the servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup hoye, Krishnera Nityadas. Then only we'll be able to serve Krishna. So this Gajendra pastime is very, very wonderful, though it is little complicated to understand. But what we have to get the takeaway from this pastime is that even in the animal body, the Gajendra has shown that taking shelter of the Supreme Lord is the only solution, and it can be taken. So we being humans, we have a lot of more accessibility to spirituality than being in an animal life. Okay, and the necessities in the animal life, can be fulfilled in a very brutal way, but we humans are actually very civilized and we have less trouble than any animals. Today we might not have a life threatening problems in our life. Okay, yeah, we might have some financial or relationship or some crisis, but that is may not be life threatening always. Okay, some of us might be going through some terminal diseases, etc., but still we don't have such big problems like a crocodile is suddenly coming and cutting us. Okay, so when we are in a good position, it is better that we develop our consciousness, we expand our consciousness and try to take shelter of Krishna and try to serve Krishna. So Gajendra had some past life curse. Because of that, somehow he born into an animal body, but he has gone back home, back to Godhead. So here one question I would like to clear, that sometimes scriptures say that even if you take one time prasadam, you will not get an animal body. So, and if you perform even little devotional service also, you will get a human body, not an animal body. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So how come Gajendra got a animal body, or how come Bharat Maharaj got a deer body? So this is what we might get a doubt. So we have to understand that sometimes different rules, different principles will implement so that Lord can teach us from some Leela. So when Bharat Maharaj got a deer body, but he didn't got deer's consciousness, he got a human-like consciousness where he wanted to associate with the saints, and like that he got another life of Jada Bharat, and he gone back home, back to Godhead. Similarly, Indradumna Maharaj also got an elephant body, but he has gone back home, back to Godhead. So similarly, Lord, whatever scriptures are saying, that is true. But sometimes there can be exceptional cases. But all the time, one thing is sure, that whatever devotional service we are performing, that is always counted, that is always our permanent asset. And we have to try to take more and more shelter of Krishna through this classes, through this reading of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or all the Srila Prabhupada books, by sincerely chanting, and by not focusing much on the people or the situations that are troubling us. Yes, we have to deal with people and we have to deal with situations, but our mood should be, I am doing everything in the mood of service to Krishna. So in the next class, I will talk about how to deal with situations. Like there are 3 approaches to deal with situations, that is tolerate, mitigate, and immigrate. Okay, so if I forget in the next session, you have to tell me. I'll elaborately discuss on that in the discussion of Prahlad Maharaj. So we have discussed in the first class that when small mistakes create many big problems, that time how Parikshit Maharaj has taken shelter. So similarly in our life also, sometimes we do small mistake and we have to face big consequences. In that situation, how we can take Krishna's shelter. In this class, we have discussed like when we have done nothing, like Gajendra did nothing, but still he has to face a life-threatening crisis. So at that particular time, how we can take shelter of Krishna. In the third class, what we will discuss is when we are going out of our way to help someone, that time, if that person becomes like a potential murderer for us, like Prahlad Maharaj wanted to help his father, Hiranyakashipu, but his Hiranyakashipu has actually wanted to get Prahlad Maharaj killed. So that time, how he could able to take shelter and what we can learn from that, we will learn from in that class, and we will elaborately discuss about this, how to handle people and situations in three things, that is tolerate, mitigate, and immigrate. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share. And so I believe that this is a bit philosophical class, but if you can listen to it again and if you can try to meditate on that, you can actually get a lot of energy and clarity to deal with so many other problems. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for being patiently listening to me. And I believe that it has added some little value, even if it changes your consciousness, expands your consciousness for 1% or 1 inch also. I believe this class is successful. So thank you so much. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees, if you have any questions, you can please raise your hand. One by one, we'll give chance. Right now, you can unmute all the devotees. I request all the devotees to please loudly
Hare
chant
Krishna
three
Prabhu.
times Hari Bol to Sriharsh Prabhu.
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna
Super
Prabhu.
fast
I
Prabhu.
just want to add something.
Yeah.
It will that the elephant was the head of all the herd of elephants, as you said, and he. I remember the story. He was swinging a lotus
Yes.
because he went to the lake to offer lotus to Lord Vishnu. That was his daily routine, and that's when this happened. So
Maybe.
when this happened, there was a hymn which he used to sing in the praise of Lord Vishnu while collecting the lotus. That hymn was very famous.
Okay.
That hymn had become very famous, and in the Sannyas Ashrama temple in my birthplace, means in Bombay, where we have a temple there, Sannyas Ashrama. There is this story which is made in the elephant and the crocodile. They've made this entire big statue, big, very huge one. And the story is really prominent, and this hymn is also very prominent. When the Gajendra was remembering Lord Vishnu and how he was sanctified and helped by the Lord and freed from the curse. This is really, I still remember that entire episode is made into a huge sculpture. And that hymn is very famous. If you could share that hymn with us.
Okay, maybe Mataji, you know it very well. So I think you should find out and you should share with us.
I'm actually having it in front of me. And
Okay.
it is
You
4
can
lines.
recite. You can
Yes.
recite. Yeah.
Shuklam bara dharam vishnum sasi varnam chaturbhujam prasamna vadanam dhyayet sarva vigno pasantaye.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Yeah, and it has a symbolic meaning. And if you want, I can share the meaning also with you.
You can share in the group, Mataji. Sometimes tomorrow when we open the group, no, in the 6 to 8, so that time you can share this verse also and some meaning also. Okay, Mataji?
Morning, I don't know if I will be coming online, Prabhuji, because the thing is,
you
I
share me personally.
COVID.
You
I was
sure?
actually not well from all these days. That's why I was irregular.
No
And from Vaikunt Ekadashi, they, when we met that day, after that, I have started becoming unwell and totally with medicines for COVID. So I was inside only. It didn't come out only after that. And now I've become a bit okay. So I'm started attending again.
Yeah. So actually, you can share with me personally whenever you get time. I will share in the group.
If everybody wants to know, it's just a few lines. I think they all will enjoy it.
Okay, I will do it at the end, Mataji. So we'll take some other questions now, and in the end, we'll do it. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
So we have one question. Okay, fine. We'll take the raised hands. Yes, Padmavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Actually, I wrote the question when Govardhan Prabhuji was telling about the verse, but I think I got answer by your lecture. Anyway, I ask you,
Yeah.
When we are silent, people think as pride and behave unusual with us.
Yeah.
This happens generally.
Correct.
They force us to speak on or shout or whatever it is, pricking, it happens, no?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. That is it pride? It is not pride. We just don't want to intermingle with any bad things or so.
Correct.
Then also we get into they behave very unusual.
Yeah.
Any answer for this?
So yeah, definitely we can answer this. So basically, when we do something, how people will perceive is something which is beyond our control. Sometimes we might have something in our heart, but still people or we behave in a certain way, still people may not consider any offense. Okay. But some people, we don't have anything to tell them, we don't want to hurt them, but still they will take it in as an offense. Okay. So we cannot always control on how others has to perceive, but we can always control how we want to perceive the things. So when someone feels that we have pride, we need not vote for their opinion. We know that it is not pride. We just want to tolerate. We don't want to make this small issue in a big. So I'm being silent. If you have that clarity, you need not explain to that other person. Let him be with that opinion. If that person is coming to you and asking for a clarity, you might share, this is not pride, but this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be silent because I don't want to make this issue big. You can tell them. But some people, or I can say most of the people, are not in a mood to get clarity. They just want to be with their own opinions. So in that time, it's better you be silent because we have less time.
Argument goes on.
Yeah. So
listen to us. Yes.
Correct. So we don't want to waste time. So it is not something like, pride or something, or, our mind, when you talk, it will judge you by asking, why did you speak? When you don't talk, your mind will tell, why didn't you speak?
That's
so whatever you do, your mind will say something against to that. So you have to make a choice whether I want to satisfy my mind or I want to be right. So you know that, okay, when your intelligence speaks, it says, do not speak anything. Let this matter cut over here only. But your mind want to engage into something. Okay. So it's okay if some people have some bad opinion about us. See, no matter how much good you do, people will not be satisfied with whatever you do, because satisfaction or being happy is not a result, is not a decision that has to be taken from externally. That has to be the thing which have to take from internally. You choose to be happy. You choose to be calm. Whenever someone provokes you by telling something, you have to tell yourself, I choose to be peaceful. I choose to not to speak. I choose to be silent. Why you want to choose to be silent? Because this is the best suitable solution as of now.
Yes.
That's it. Done. No matter how many times your mind will say, you will say the same answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Anuradha Mataji. Anuradha Mataji, you can unmute now.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, I have a feedback for your yesterday's session. Your yesterday's session about the story of the person who gets the snake body in the next Janam and the importance of 7th chapter.
Correct.
It has inspired me so much that yesterday night I told my father that let's sit down together and read the Bhagavad Gita together. So today, me, my mom and dad sat together and we finished 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. We read the shloka followed by the translation only. And in between, just like how Govardhan Prabhu says, stories in between to give us examples. Just like that, my father was also telling us stories and we completed 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji, today. So I got all the inspiration from you.
Well, thank you so much, Mataji. So this is what sometimes happen. After listening our class, the listeners will transform, but the speaker won't transform. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. That's a good idea,
Untitled
actually.
devotees,
Maybe Govardhan Prabhu, when we next time meet with Gangadhar Prabhu or any other devotee, we will also plan this activity. Yes, Seema Thakur Mataji, you want to ask something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I want to know how to give up the habits which we discussed few minutes ago in our class today.
Hmm.
How to give up the habits which is we are
Hmm.
facing so much of trouble in giving it up. There are so many habits which we are trying so hard, but still unable to give it up. So any solutions for that?
Yes, Mataji. So you are asking like how we can give up our habits. Okay.
Old habits, yes.
Yeah. So see, basically it's a very elaborated subject and this has to be dealt on a personal level. But in a brief, I'll try to give some answer so that you can get an idea. So basically, most of the time, all of us have bad habits and we want to give up. But the thing is, we don't have habits. Our habits have us. So they have actually caught us. We want to live them. Initially, when we started doing something which we liked, we were actually taking up the habit. But over a period of time, habit has taken us. So that is the reason it is becomes difficult to get over that habit. Because when we are bound by something, we cannot free ourselves, we cannot free others. So similarly, in this habits condition, we are always bound by our own past impressions, past habits. So this time we have to take help from Krishna, help from the other people. Okay. So most of the times people are very shy to share their habits, share their addictions and all. So that is the reason they don't seek help. And sometimes our false ego tells us that, you know, you have done so much of bad thing that even God cannot save you. Okay. So our mind will overestimate our habits and underestimate Krishna's power. So this thing we have to be very careful. We should seek shelter of Krishna. And rather than focusing on your habits, which you have to give up, start focusing on the habits that you want to take. So we cannot clean away all our habits exclusively by picking one habit and throwing it out. We have to replace those bad habits with our good habits. It's like diluting our habits. So imagine if we have a habit of, let us say, can anyone give any one habit which someone want to get rid of?
Tea, coffee.
Okay, tea, coffee, right? So now if you want to stop yourself from giving up tea, coffee, then first you have to understand is that what this tea, coffee is doing to me. Because of that, I have started taking up and I am not able to give up. Because every habit that we have is satisfying some of our needs. I'll tell my own example. I used to watch movies to escape from the world. So I used to go alone to the movies. Whenever I'm in stress, I'm not able to handle certain things, I used to go to movie. Because when I was there in the movie theater for 2 to 3 hours, I will forget my world. And that is the reason I have picked up the movies. Because of that, now also it becomes very difficult to give up. Earlier, I used to watch 4 movies in a week, but now I have reduced maybe 1 or 2 movies in a month or 2 months like that. So that habit has reduced, but it has not yet gone away because it used to satisfy some of my needs. It used to be served like a escaping agent for me. So similarly, the tea, coffee, whatever is there, might be doing something to you in your life. So can I have some replacement for that? Whatever need this tea, coffee is fulfilling, can I drink something else to fulfill that need? In this way, we try to replace this habit. And second is, if you try to go away from the people who are drinking tea and coffee, or try to be away during that time where everyone is taking tea and coffee, if you try to skip that time, that also can be helpful. And the third thing is, you have to know why you have to give up tea and coffee. If it is helping me to be more Krishna conscious, if it is helping me to go beyond this world, go beyond all these habits, then is it really worth to be stick with these habits? Can't I give up? So we have to intellectually also contemplate on this, that this habit is there, it is tough, but sometimes we don't know that whether it is worth or not. So if we know that it is worth, then you can easily give up. There are so many people who have given up alcohol in a day's time, or sometimes some of people have given up some of the habits in a moments of time. So what do you think has happened with them? Some intellectual change, some realization, and they have just given up that habit. So it is called as where the willpower becomes so powerful that we can give up our habits. So I have shared three things. One is identify what need that habit is fulfilling you. And second, can I have any replacement for fulfilling that need? And third is I'll try to avoid my exposure to that particular thing. Like I don't want to go where the tea coffee is being sold, or I don't want to be with the people who are drinking tea and coffee, and I don't want to be with the people in that particular time. If we are staying in a family, others are drinking tea, then definitely you will also get a desire to drink. So that time I will try to be engaged in somewhere else. So you are trying to avoid, you are trying to replace your habit, and you are trying to address the problem which is being solved by that particular habit. In this way, gradually, you may be able to give up your habit. And all this you may not be able to do alone. You might have to seek someone's help so that you can know whether you are going in a right way or not. So in that way, you can try. Maybe when we talk in a personal conversation about certain habits, I might give more clarity on this. Does this make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Pooja Kumari Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I've already put my question in the chat also.
Yeah.
Like, do we get any karma if we're helping somebody to choose some non-veg variety? Like, we don't eat, but they eat, so we cannot tell them like, no, can't give lectures, don't eat and all. They eat, so sometimes I just help them to choose the varieties. So I feel like I'm doing wrong or right, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. So whatever, there are like, 6 levels of karmas. Okay, according to non-veg, the person who brings that animal, the person who cuts the animal, the person who cooks that animal, the person who eats, the person who serves, all of them become a part of that karma. So when you are trying to make other people select something, yeah, you will be incurring some karma. Try to avoid that, because if however you are not eating, why you have to suggest people about that? If they ask you also, then you can say like, it's your choice. You take what you want to take. I don't want to get involved into this particular. So politely and pleasingly, you can get away from that activity. Like there are some devotees where their family eats non-veg, and sometimes they tell that devotee to bring non-veg. So for few times he has done, but after that he started escaping from that activity. He told like, I cannot bring, or I don't want to bring something, some or other way, try to get out of that cycle. And whoever is listening wanted to give up, you can help them. If the people don't want to give up, then just wait. Maybe sometime some other devotee or some other thing may change them to give up this habit. So don't be stuck with people. Just try to you be away from that particular cycle of bringing, making them select something. Does this answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Pooja Mataji, the another Pooja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
My
Mataji.
question is like, now we are like a person when they come into Krishna consciousness. So is it like possible that we in our past life we may have like performed Krishna consciousness somehow, or it is, or like I have heard something, maybe like some Vaishnava, when they give mercy upon us, then also will come to Krishna. Is that true, Prabhuji? Like how this
Yeah,
thing works?
correct,
So I
Mataji.
wanted to, yeah, I wanted to know about that. And can we also like pray for our family, that if our family members are not in this, so can we pray for the Krishna, and do they also get the same thing in their life? Is it possible?
Okay, so you have asked two questions, Mataji. One is, we are Krishna conscious because we have practiced Krishna consciousness in the past life, or it is because some Vaishnava has given his mercy, because of that we become Krishna conscious. And the second one you asked is, can we pray for our family members to become Krishna conscious? So yes, Mataji, we can pray for our family members. We can pray to Krishna, because Krishna actually listens to the devotees more than anyone. Okay. So if he feels like, okay, this devotee is asking, so I think I have to give some mercy to this particular person of that family, then it can happen, because Krishna is the Lord of destiny and he can do anything. So if we pray, if that person is entitled for it, if Krishna feels that he can get Krishna Bhakti now or later, whenever he want to, Krishna can give. So our prayers are important and those can work also. Okay. But we should not be very anxious to get our prayers heard and get executed quickly. Because as we have taken our own sweet time to become Krishna conscious, every soul will take their own time to become Krishna conscious. Even after joining Krishna consciousness movement, we see some people will pick up 16 rounds in the first month, and some people will spend 4 or 5 years to come to 16 rounds. So everyone is going on their own pace. So it is being said like, from your place, at your pace, access God's grace. So from your place, at your pace, access God's grace. So whoever is whatever level they are into, let them take their own Krishna consciousness at slowly. So we can pray for their Krishna consciousness, but we should not be anxious about it. This is the answer. And the second is, we have become like, especially Krishna Bhakti, if we have, then it is pretty much sure that in the previous lives we have practiced spirituality. Especially Vishnu Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti we have done. Because Acharyas say that even to get Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This holy mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra, to get onto your lips, you might have performed so much of piety, so much of spiritual life in the past. Because of that only you'll able to pronounce this. Many people, when we are going to the Rath Yatra, we say them, Hare Krishna, bolo, aap bhi bolo, aap bhi bolo. People will say like, they don't say it. Okay. Bolo, bolo, Hare Krishna, bolo. Prasad lo, prasad lo. So they are not able to take prasadam, they are not able to chant. We have practically seen, when I was in Pune in the first Rath Yatra, I thought like anyone can chant, no. But when I saw this practically, I felt like, oh my God, this is not a simple thing. Just because we got Krishna consciousness, we feel like it is easy, it can be given to anyone and everyone. But so much of thing. And yes, because of Vaishnava's mercy, we get. And that also can be an arrangement of Krishna, because why a particular Vaishnava gives mercy to a particular person only. So there might be some planning, no, nothing happens randomly. And sometimes because of our piety, that is our good karma, we born in a good families, cultured families who go to temple. And because of that, we get exposed to Krishna. And that time we use our free will to choose Krishna. Because of that also we can become Krishna conscious. So definitely if we are part of ISKCON, as far as I know, I am not the authority to say this thing, but I believe that we are not practicing Krishna consciousness for the first time in this life. We have practiced earlier also. Otherwise, what we are discussing is not something can be done in the first attempt or first trial of Krishna consciousness. We have been Krishna conscious in the past lives, and then only we are able to discuss all this right now. So Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever we are discussing is a subject meant for Paramahamsas, okay? So if we are talking about that, if we are listening about that, then it is not a normal thing. So we have been practiced. Okay. Yeah, Puja Mataji, you got your answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I ask Prabhuji one more question?
Yeah, Mataji.
So I wanted to know, like, suppose we have a certain habit, like certain habit means I made a routine for myself. And if somebody, like some guest or somebody visiting you, at that time should we like practice our routine, or like we should change like because of others you have to change it, right? So to go in a good way, I mean to be a good Krishna bhakta, should we like strictly follow our routine, or should we like, okay, for this time I'll just go with the flow and then again I'll pick it up? So what is the right way to do it?
Yeah, that's a very nice question, Mataji, because when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, most of the times we are not from a family which has already been Krishna conscious. Most of us are like single person in the family who are Krishna conscious. And most of our relatives, they are very expert in criticizing us for anything that we do. Okay. So it becomes very difficult when someone comes, whether to change our schedule, change our routine, or whether to be strict to that and all. So one principle is, see, always in a relationship or in a family, one underlying principle is we have to maintain harmony. If we maintain harmony with our people, with our family, today or tomorrow, we can practice Krishna consciousness. But if we stick to the rules and we break the harmony in the family, today or tomorrow, we will give up Krishna consciousness. Because many people facing a situation that their parents or their family members are stopping them from coming to ISKCON, stopping them from chanting. Because it is not because Krishna consciousness is not good, but because their implementation is so strict and in a wrong way that has given a very bad impression. Like some of the children who are very young, okay, they want to fast, but their parents are like very conscious about their children's health. So they might oppose them. So that time, rather than looking at the concern of the parents, if we see that they are like opposing my Krishna consciousness, if we go in that mode, then we actually create a disturbance in our own family. And because of that, they will feel like, क्या फायदा, तुम parents की बात ही नहीं सुन सकते हो तो क्या भक्ति है? Okay, so that kind of impression. So when relatives come or some special occasions comes which are not routine, okay, that time you try to mold yourself, okay, because you might be flexible, but the other person is not flexible. And the relative who is coming home is not only related to you, but it is related to the people of your family also. So वो तो आके चला जाएगा, but उसके बाद में ये लोग अगर अपने ऊपर बैठ गए कि तुम इतना क्यों ओवर एक्टिंग कर रहे थे, क्या कुछ कर नहीं सकते, क्या चेंज, क्या बड़े भक्त हो क्या आप, क्या आज ही चले जाओगे क्या गोलोक को, ये सब करके, तो they might say so many things. So rather than creating some more disturbance, better to change the plan. Okay, because Krishna can understand, we can understand, but making others understand is a difficult task. So it is okay. But इसको क्या है कि mind is always very subtle, okay? तो ये second day भी implement कर सकता है mind. बोलता है कि कल आए थे तब तो change कर लिया ना, आज थोड़ा कुछ और कर लेते हैं, however you have changed ना. So we have to be careful, okay? We are compromising for the harmony in the family. We are not compromising to our own sense gratification. Okay, Mataji? Yeah, similar kind of question being asked in the previous classes also. Like if we have a very good family gathering or a very important meeting of our job, and at the same time this class is happening, which one I have to choose? That question also came. So I told them like, this class is getting recorded also. So if the meeting is very important, if the family gathering is very important, then you can skip this class and watch the recordings. Okay, because these kind of situations will not come every day or every week. Only few occasions will come. So for special occasions, special times, we need not be too serious about this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
But what happens is when you attend the class and suddenly you go in with the meeting, your whatever the guests are at, our face would have changed, Prabhuji. We wouldn't have, we are missing the class. Even if we have recordings is different, but the direct class is more important. That's what I feel. And the behavior and the expression in front of the guests will be like completely different, and you won't show interest in them. The way they put us down, then all that matters a lot, Prabhuji. So it's so difficult to change suddenly when a guest comes home. Have guests at home, they're outside screaming, shouting, but I'm happy inside the room listening to you. They might feel bad. Why this lady is not coming outside?
Yeah. See, Mataji, I can understand this question. Not only you, I think every Mataji will have to go through this, because like Matajis are the center of the family. Okay. Any relative comes, they know that if the lady is at the home, then only the service can be done. Very exceptional, like Gangadhar Prabhu, who can cook and feed us. But most of the times, if the lady in the house is there to serve the guest, then only they are confident that hospitality is possible. Otherwise, not possible. So that is why all Matajis have a responsibility that they have to take care of the guest. And one more important thing which we have to remember is those guests who are coming, they are not so elevated to understand our situation. We being Krishna conscious, if we are not able to understand them, they are not Krishna conscious. How we expect them to understand? So we have to lower our standard and we have to treat them, because atithis all also have to get hospitality properly, and that is also a part of our parampara. Okay, so that is why the guest might not know what you are going through. The guest is not so elevated to understand you, but still you can smile at them. You can be genuinely serving them. Okay, you need not be morose or something, and you need not have some difficult expressions, because actually if we are not good with the people, tomorrow how we will be able to preach them, right? They will feel like these Krishna conscious people now very arrogant, kya samajhte pata nahi, mere ko nahi padna hai isme. So if they like us, they will like what comes with us. If they don't like us, even if we try to give them Krishna, they will say nahi chahiye tumhara Krishna nahi chahiye. Right? So try to balance it. It is not that मैंने आज बोल दिया और कल से एकदम आप you will hit and run. ऐसा नहीं है. I also done so many blunders. After that only I am sitting like this and talking to you. And maybe मेरे जितने तो आपने नहीं किए होंगे. Okay, I was very fond of making my father give up onion and garlic. But later I felt like मैं कुछ ज़्यादा ही boss बनने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Okay. So I realized, because how my father is not able to give up onion and garlic, similarly, I am not able to give up something in my life. So rather than thinking or comparing my difficulty with his difficulty, I was comparing what is easy for me with what is difficult for him. So this was the misjudgment. So when I realized, like, I have to compare my tough thing with his tough thing, then I started understanding him. Okay, and I started understanding him, like maybe he might eat onion garlic, but he's a nice person, no? Okay, he's not stopping me from doing Krishna consciousness activities. So I can be thankful for that. Whenever he wanted to give up, let him give up. Okay, so I started seeing in a different perspective. Because of that, he has not given onion and garlic, but I became peaceful. So what is important is you becoming peaceful and you practicing Krishna consciousness. बाकी दुनिया को बाद में जोड़ेंगे, ठीक है? पहले हम खुद जुड़ जाएं, खुद आगे जाएं. That is also because Srila Prabhupada says the greatest service is to make someone Krishna conscious, but greater than the greatest service is you remain as Krishna conscious. तो हम खुद अपना पहले देख लेंगे, बाद में दुनिया बदलेंगे, ठीक है? Yes, Aishu, Manoj, Prabhu, या Mataji, I don't know. Yeah,
Prabhuji, it's a very simple question. We chant, do we have to, does it really matter if we chant loudly or, sometimes we can meditate on it, right?
Okay. So that was your question?
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. So does it make a difference by chanting loudly or we can meditate? Yes, it makes a difference because that is spiritual sound vibration. And the more we send that sound through our ears to our heart, the faster will be the transformation. Because it is very difficult to go beyond the sound that our mind is producing. Even if you are talking, you can realize that your mind is talking something different. हम कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं लेकिन अंदर अपना mind कुछ और बोलते ही रहता है. So to actually counter our mind's inside talk with our loud talk itself is very difficult. So how can we assure that we will be able to meditate on the mantra rather than pronouncing it loudly? So always Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada says that chant loudly, okay? So that, because Shravanam only transforms our heart. Shravanam, Kirtanam, the Navavidha Bhakti, the first thing is Shravanam, okay? So when we chant, we have to hear. So like this, it comes out, like this, it goes in and it changes the heart. So the more louder you can chant, that is better. But if that is creating disturbance for the other people in the house, try to chant softly as much as you can hear. At least you should hear. Okay. That is the best practice. Okay, Mataji?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Bindu Mataji.
Prabhuji, the Gajendra, the past time you have said, so the same Gajendra is the head Ganesh have kept. Is he the same?
No idea, Mataji. Because he was not the same. Because if his head has to be gone to Lord Ganesha, then this whole context of Gajendra Moksha will be missed out. Yeah, so
Okay,
because Gajendra was liberated. Yeah.
It's not that okay.
Yeah. Yeah, someone has asked question in the chat. I just want to look at that. Yeah, due to disrespect to Sage Agastya, king got cursed to rebirth as elephant. Yes. Thank you, Padmavati Mataji. Thank you, Radha Mataji. Thank you, Venkat Prabhu. Thank you, Kritika Mataji. Yeah, Pooja Mataji asked the question. Okay, we answered that.
Prabhuji, can I read that now? Then I will also want to take your leave.
Okay, fine, Mataji. You read and leave. It's okay.
Okay. It is the famous hymn which Gajendra recited during the attack by the crocodile. And it is Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sashi Varanam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayate Sarva Vigno Pasantaye. The tale of Gajendra is an integral theme in Vaishnavism and has great symbolic value. Gajendra is the man, the crocodile is sin, and the muddy water of the lake is samsara. The symbolic meaning of Gajendra Moksha is that materialistic desires, ignorance, and sins create an endless chain of karma in this world and are similar to a crocodile preying upon a helpless elephant stuck in a muddy pond. Humans are thus stuck in a continuous cycle of death and rebirth until the day when they can look beyond everything in this creation and ultimately submit themselves to the Supreme Being, Lord Vishnu.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading. We have one wonderful comment of Gangadhar Prabhu also. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for sharing Gajendra Moksha story. It's one of the important pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, which makes one eligible to get liberated from material world just by listening one time. Hope we all will be blessed with more such stories from Bhagavatam in coming classes. Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu. So we hope that we will also get liberated. And Tanupriya Mataji also have given comments and questions. I was just looking. Yeah, no questions. Yes, Saroja Mataji, you have raised your hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Class was a class for Prabhuji Indaka. Actually, ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఇందాక గజేంద్ర మోక్షం స్టోరీ చెప్పేప్పుడు స్టార్టింగ్ లో అంటే ఒక మనకి ఒక డీప్ అటాచ్మెంట్ ఉంటే అంటే మనీ కావచ్చు, రిలేషన్స్ కావచ్చు అని అన్నారు కదా. అంటే రిలేషన్స్ సపోజ్ రిలేషన్స్ వల్ల మనకి అంటే మైండ్ అండ్ హార్ట్ మధ్యలో మనకి ఫైట్ అవుతుంటది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ లో మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఓకే ఇది బెస్ట్, రైట్, ఇస్ రాంగ్ అని మనకు తెలుసు. కానీ సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఓన్లీ మైండ్ మళ్ళీ ఆ అటాచ్మెంట్ వల్ల మనం బాధ, మన రిలేషన్స్ వల్ల ఆ డీప్ అటాచ్మెంట్ వల్ల బాధ అవుతుంటది. ఆ సఫరింగ్ అప్పుడప్పుడైనా అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలి అంటే
ఎన్ని రౌండ్స్ చాంట్ చేస్తారు మాతాజీ మీరు?
నేను 8.
ఓకే, 64 చేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేయండి. అప్పుడప్పుడు ఏంటి, ఎప్పుడు రాదు ఫీలింగ్.
అంతేనా?
I was just kidding, Mataji. No, actually ఏంటంటే see, basically those who don't understand Telugu, I'll just repeat the question. That Mataji told, like, we have different kinds of attachments. So our relatives or relationships can also be an attachment. So because of that, there will always be like a tug of war between heart and mind, whether to follow our mind or heart. So can we avoid this tug of war or this kind of confusion? Because only sometimes it will happen, but can we avoid that also? Can we be completely free from this fight of mind and heart? So Mataji, actually, we have attachments, we have impressions in our mind and heart from very long time about so many things. So, and we have started practicing Krishna consciousness from a very small time. Even if you consider this lifetime also, we are practicing from very few months or few years. So we cannot expect that it will go away. But definitely, if we practice Krishna consciousness for a long time and we purify ourselves, purify our heart and consciousness and mind, definitely will not have any fight between mind and heart, because that time we are not taking guidance or decisions based on our mind or heart. We are taking decisions based on Krishna's guidance. We are taking guidance from our guru, our senior Vaishnavas. సో అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇటువంటిది ఏం రాదు. ఒకవేళ వచ్చినా సరే అది ఇప్పుడు ఎంత డిస్టర్బ్ చేస్తుందో అప్పుడు అంత డిస్టర్బ్ చేయదు. సో టుడే ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఇస్ we cannot listen to our mind completely. We cannot listen to our guru also completely. So we are like lying in between. Whatever we like from our mind, we will listen. Whatever we like from our guru will listen. For example, I'll just tell you. If I tell you some nice stories, or if Govardhan Prabhu tells nice stories, okay, you might easily like it. But if we give some strict instruction, that you may not like it immediately. So what is happening is, if you are prepared to listen to us completely, whether it is a strict instruction or a nice story, both has to be taken in a same way. But because we are not completely receptive, because of that only what will happen? Sometimes we will listen to our mind, sometimes we will listen to our guru, and we'll lie in between, always in confusion, whether to listen to our mind or our heart or our guru, like that. But over a period of time ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి క్లారిటీ వస్తుంది అనమాట. మనకి ఎప్పుడు కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఉన్నా మన గురువు ఏం చెప్తారో, మన సీనియర్స్ ఏం చెప్తారో అది మనం ఫాలో అయిపోవచ్చు గుడ్డిగా. ఆ నమ్మకం ఎప్పుడైతే వస్తుందో, ఆ రిసెప్టివిటీ అయితే ఎప్పుడైతే వస్తుందో, అప్పుడు ఈ కన్ఫ్యూజన్స్ ఉండవు, మైండ్, హార్ట్ ఎట్సెట్రా, బికాస్ వీ హ్యావ్ ద క్లారిటీ. ఓకేనా మాతాజీ?
యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
మీరు ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పారు చూడండి ప్రభుజీ, సింగిల్ పర్సన్ ఉంటే ఒక ఫ్యామిలీలో ఐ మీన్ భక్తి చేసి, అది సేమ్ మీరు చెప్పింది చాలా కరెక్ట్. అండ్ అంటే నేను సెల్ఫ్ గా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేశాను. ఇంట్లో నేను స్టార్ట్ చేశాను అనమాట. నేను మాత్రమే చేసుకుంటాను అనమాట. ఇలా మీరు చెప్పినవన్నీ రోజు రియల్ గా ప్రాక్టికల్ గా నేను చూశాను. ఎవరైనా వచ్చినప్పుడు అది డిఫరెంట్ గా చూస్తారు. అసలు అదొక ఎక్కడి నుండి వచ్చారా వీళ్ళు అన్నట్టుగా ఉంటది అనమాట వీళ్ళకి.
పరలోక వాసులు అయి ఉంటారు. They are coming from different planets. So sometimes they will see as aliens, but when they realize that Krishna consciousness is amazing thing, then they will start liking us. I have experienced both, Mataji. Like నాకు ఇనిషియల్ గా నేను స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు 2018 లో I myself felt as an alien, because I was doing something which I have never done. So I was chanting one round for 1 year. Okay. And I was like a very light devotee, or not even a devotee. Okay. I know Krishna consciousness. So I just wanted to do it because I read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I felt like, okay, I have to chant at least one round. But even while chanting that one round for 10 minutes, I was not Krishna conscious. Okay. So somehow I was floating. But on the second year, after started doing some service in the temple, and I started chanting 16 rounds, I became little serious. Okay. And that time I started seeing that other people are considering me as an alien. Okay. So initially I myself felt I'm an alien. Next stage is others are feeling like alien. But in the third year, like especially in 2021 ending to till now, when my mother started chanting, she started reading Srila Prabhupada books. And my father also started appreciating my classes. My wife also sometimes chants. So over a period of time, what has happened is the atmosphere of house has changed. Now no one is looking at each other as an alien. Everyone has understood Krishna consciousness is a good thing. Okay. Now whole e process lo nenu alien anukoni andaram family Krishna consciousness good thing anukone stage edaithe undo, all this time what was my behavior, that is the important point. If we want to convert our family as Krishna conscious people, the major important thing is not Srila Prabhupada, not Krishna. It is you. How you are behaving, how you are dealing with them, that will actually create great impact. I believe if Tanupriya Mataji is there or left, okay, she left. So she was sharing that her colleagues found her to be more positive, and they started asking like what you read or what you are doing, because we see you are very positive. So that is actually real preaching. People, when they see like we are positive, we are dealing well with them, then they will also become Krishna conscious. So similarly, మీరు కూడా మీ ఫ్యామిలీలో మేబీ మొట్టమొదటి పర్సన్ అయి ఉండొచ్చు యాజ్ ఆఫ్ నౌ యాజ్ అ కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్. మరి మీరు నీట్గా మంచిగా హ్యాపీగా డీల్ చేశారనుకోండి, అనవసరమైన ఫోర్స్ అనేది వేరే వాళ్ళ మీద వేయకుండా, లేదా వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చే ఫోర్స్ని కూడా అనవసరంగా మరీ ఎక్కువ చేసుకొని పెద్ద చేసుకొని రియాక్ట్ అవ్వకుండా బ్యాలెన్స్డ్గా ఉన్నారనుకోండి, ఓవర్ అ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ everyone will become Krishna conscious. Okay, so your behavior is more important. Once you become Krishna conscious, you should know that now I'm a very responsible person because I am representing Krishna. They will start seeing Krishna through us. If this person is doing like this, maybe Krishna is not powerful. If this person is doing like this, maybe Krishna consciousness is not a good thing. So we have to be responsible. It is not like, we can do anything and everything like earlier. Now we are like a prime focus. Okay. Does this make sense? Mana Saroja Mataji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we have any
Prabhuji, I have completed successfully 6 months in Krishna consciousness today.
Hari Bol. Congratulations, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Just now I remembered that.
Wow, very nice. So happy to have you in Krishna consciousness. No
because
wonder.
This is the first thing I am doing consistently for 6 months, because I am the person who is used to get very bored with things. 1 or 2 months I'll get bored and just change those things. But I don't know how I am doing it so dedicatedly till 6 months. But same dedication has to be there in future also. Just I have to pray for that.
You want same or better?
At least as of now same. सेम रहा तो ऑटोमेटिकली बेटर हो जाएगा प्रभु जी.
अच्छा, लीस्ट एक्सपेक्टेशन के साथ जा रहे हो ताकि हर्ट ना हो जाओ आगे जाके.
हाँ, right? जैसा आप अभी बोले ना कि हमारे घर वाले हमारे थ्रू कृष्णा को देखते करके.
Correct.
तो मेरे घर में हम भक्ति कर रहे, तो अगर थोड़ा गुस्सा भी हो तो देखो तुम भक्ति कर रहे, गुस्सा हो जाते, ऐसा गुस्सा हो जाता, फायदा नहीं है बुक्स पढ़ के, जब माला जाप करके कुछ फायदा ही नहीं है तुम्हारा, ऐसा बोल देते मेरे मुंह पे.
Yeah, very nice.
So we have to be very careful that way.
That time you have to remind yourself, like Krishna wanted me to become humble. That's
थोड़ा भी गुस्सा नहीं करना क्या प्रभु जी?
Sometimes नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं करना है. मतलब गुस्सा भी करो तो भी ऐसा होना चाहिए कि गुस्सा नहीं किया है. So you have to, Krishna Bhakta bada chatur. Okay, so you have to be very intelligent, because we can deal many things without getting angry also. Only thing is we don't know the better way. That is why we get angry. Right? You can see people, अगर उनके पास कोई point नहीं है ना तो चिल्लाना शुरू करते हैं. So we should know, like, that guy has nothing to say. That is why he's shouting. So if someone knows the knowledge, then he will आराम से बोलेगा, भाई 1 minute, रुको, first listen. If that guy is not listening, we have to be silent. हो गया? Completed? Shall I speak now? So we have to deal intelligently. Okay? गुस्सा करोगे तो क्या होगा कि time waste होगा बहुत. Again we have to explain.
अभी स्टार्ट करे प्रभु जी, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. दैट्स व्हाट हैबिट्स को थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा ना चेंज होने के लिए, बट वो नहीं समझते ना, गुस्सा कर रहे, देखो भक्ति वेस्ट.
तो आप एक्सपेक्ट क्यों कर रहे हो कि वो आपसे कम एक्सपेक्टेशंस रखे, वो आपको अंडरस्टैंड करे?
घर वाले तो अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे ना, और कौन करेगा?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. घर वाले बाहर वाले अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेवल अपना अपना होता है. सो यू जस्ट एक्सपेक्ट कि मेरे को एटलीस्ट इंटरप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. That is the biggest expectation, or the minimum expectation that we can have from our family. At least they are not coming in between our Krishna consciousness. That's it.
That way I am lucky.
That's it. Very fortunate.
I have to be thankful.
Yes. Yeah. So every time they angry on you, they say all these things, you should be thankful. कुछ भी बोलो यार, मेरे को करने दे रहे हो, I'm still thankful to you. Then they'll not become angry. बोलेंगे she is gone case, इसको आप कुछ मत बोलो, छोड़ दो. So that's what happened with me. Okay, so many people considered me as a gone case. That is why I'm peaceful. They are also peaceful. Okay, Mataji.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji, today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Gita Sandesh Hindi. Maybe Sheila Mataji. Yes, Mataji, you wanted to ask something? Hand raise किया आपने? Okay, she is not there, it seems. यहाँ पे कुछ question आया है. Yes. Welcome, Jessica Mataji. Though heard about Gajendra Moksha before Padmavati Mataji, today it was blessing to have such beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Family members is asking why we people have so many questions about life, being so educated people. Because we are not educated in the actual education that we have to have. We are just educated into some calculus, some maths, some science, which might be useful to function in life. but we have no education to understand why we are here and how we can go beyond this world. So that is why there are so many doctors, scientists, very intelligent engineers, all them, but all their intelligence is just useless to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why we have so many questions? Because we have a strong thirst to become Krishna conscious, to know about Krishna, to want to make our life better, to make our life spiritual, go beyond this world, be happy. Those who ask more questions now, I believe they are the serious people. You know why? Because to ask a question, you have to go beyond your ego. Asking a question means I don't know. And saying I don't know is not a small thing. Many people just try to manipulate, just try to pretend. But the toughest thing in the world sometimes is to say I don't know. Even in the interviews, the interviewer as an HR, he will seek a person who can be honest. If he knows, he can tell the answer. If he doesn't know, he can say I don't know. So most of the times people who honestly say I don't know get selected rather than those who are pretending to try and to answer that in a very, because samajh jata hai ki okay, he is pretending. So whatever questions you are asking, all of you, I believe that you are trying to be more and more Krishna conscious. And if you are becoming Krishna consciousness, you pray for me so that I can also become Krishna conscious, because I also need so many improvements. Yes, Bindu Mataji, you have something to say?
No, Prabhuji, as you said, killing the mosquitoes or pests. So don't we think we are liberating them tomorrow? Today, if we kill the mosquito, tomorrow they may get a human skin, human body. So are we not liberating them instead of lamenting?
Yeah, this is what Shringi also thought, that I am doing the God's will by punishing the Kshatriya, the Parikshit Maharaj who has. So if Krishna chooses us to be the instrument of karma, that is okay. But we should not. Chattanni mana chetullok teesukovoddu, Mataji. Okay, don't take law and order in our hands. Okay, so we are not liberating. By slapping ourselves, we cannot liberate ourselves. Okay, how we can slapping a mosquito? We are liberating a mosquito. Okay, and actually, all the animals have a very strict particular period of time for which they have to be in their body. So if we kill a mosquito prematurely, then they have to take a mosquito body only to complete that period. So that can also be there. So if you get into this law of karma and this thing in a premature way, then we'll only be confused. Okay, so do not expect that they'll get liberation. No one will get liberation through us, not even ourselves. Okay, and what you can do is, when it is sucking your blood, you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. అదే మరి ఆటోమేటిక్ గా చేయపోకుండా ఉండడానికి ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మహామంత్ర వచ్చేలాగా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. దోమ కరవంగానే మహామంత్ర గుర్తుకొచ్చింది అనుకోండి, గజేంద్ర లాగా క్రొకోడైల్ పట్టుకున్నప్పుడు కూడా మనకు భగవంతుడు గుర్తుకొస్తాడు, లేకపోతే మనకి గుర్తుకు రాదు. Yeah, Sheila Mataji, you were raised your hand, but you are not there. I called out your name.
If it is dengue bites, then what to do?
First thing is, by telling all these things, I am not telling that you let all the mosquitoes suck your blood. I'm just telling that don't kill them. Okay, so whether to reduce the atmosphere conducive for mosquitoes, we have to take precautions on cleaning our house, putting some, like Mataji has given some good suggestions in the group, Padmavati Mataji said some karpuram or some cow dung cakes that can be burnt or something. So like that precautions you can take so that the mosquitoes will stay away from us. But incidentally, all the mosquitoes will not go away. So some mosquito is trying to suck your blood, you just try to flow them away. Do not kill them, that's it. So you protect for yourself, but in that self-protection, don't do any murders. That's it. Okay? Don't tell that if you get a dengue, then I am responsible. Because now Sriharsh Prabhu has to pay the bill. Because of him only I got dengue.
But Prabhuji, if we will at times kill, we are putting a stop to the dengue spread with the dangerous mosquitoes. So at times it is good karma also. With the dangerous mosquito putting dengue in others' bodies, one person is stopping it completely, like an army officer. I feel it is the better thing. That person is not infesting more mosquitoes.
But do have guarantee that is it really going right? Maybe we are killing all the non-dengue mosquitoes, because all mosquitoes are not potential to bring dengue, only few.
See, in an army, Pakistani army or Afghani army, nobody is going to check. Shoot that side at war. It is like that.
You know, in the army also, there will be strict conditions. Why we are killing someone, we have to get the proper orders. You know, it also happens that we sometimes kill innocent people, thinking that they are terrorists or they are like enemies and all. So even killing someone from an enemy country doesn't mean that that person is enemy. So similarly, all the dengue mosquitoes only we have killed, that guarantee we cannot give it to Krishna. And by the way, no one has told you to take up that job voluntarily. So let's not take up that job. Try to be safe, protect ourselves, but let us not take, as I told to Bindu Mataji, do not take law and order in your hands unless someone instructs you.
Put fleeing machine. Like I have put a machine, mosquitoes go away.
Very nice. That is best. Yeah. Okay.
Alexander ke tappaledhu. Alexander.
ఏం తప్పలేదు దోమనా డెంగ్యూ
Yeah, because of mosquito bite he died.
కరెక్ట్ అంత గొప్పడైనా సరే దోమ కాటుకు చచ్చిపోయాడు అనమాట. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining the session. See you all on Wednesday. Okay, in between, if some service is there, I'll try to contact you. And if you have any questions, please try to post them between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or if you miss that time, you can post those questions to my personal window also anytime. I'll answer them.
Service for what? We have a service in temple now?
No, Mataji, this one context to Excel only, which I shared. You told your Excel is not.
Oh, tomorrow I'll update you, Prabhuji, on that.
You update me, then based on that.
Sure. In the morning, yeah.
Ramani Mataji, you wanted to say something. You raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji, the same mosquito issue. Whenever I see them, I say to myself, you're killing my kids, so take the action. So I'm just worried about the malaria and the dengue, so always try to hit them with the bat or just put a repellent.
Try to have some better solutions, like some Mataji told, like some mosquito goes away because of that, or some organic way of sending them out rather than killing. We have solutions. Only thing is we are lazy to implement all those nice solutions. So try to spend some time, find out some better alternatives. Okay. Yes, your children protection is important, but can we do in a better way? That is what you think. If you have some better opportunity in an economical way, which you can afford, then go for it. Okay. Don't get stuck with all this mosquito and insects issue.
ఈ రోజు మీరు చెప్పిన క్లాస్ లో నాకు చాలా చాలా సూపర్ గా నచ్చిన పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే, కొంతమంది ఎలాన్ గా ఉన్నారని బాధపడుతుంటారు కదా, మీరు అందరు ఉన్నా కూడా అందరు కూడా యాక్చువల్లీ మన అందరం కూడా సింగిలే కృష్ణ షెల్టర్ తీసుకునేంత వరకు. ఎందుకంటే ఎవరి కర్మ వాళ్ళు ఖచ్చితంగా ఫేస్ చేయాలి. నా ఫీవర్ ఇంకొకరికి రాదు, ఇంకొకరి ఫీవర్ నాకు రాదు ఖచ్చితంగా. ఇది చాలా బాగుంది యాక్చువల్లీ.
Nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. So I think this will.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope this will help you to deal your issues in a better way.
Very nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for encouraging comments and all the feedback. Because of you all only, I am trying to prepare these classes, because I can honestly say, when me and Govardhan Prabhu have a same opinion that these classes are not for everyone. Okay, so just because you guys are very matured and you ask very matured questions, I feel like these classes are for you, and that is why I'm preparing. Okay, it is not a part of a regular course or something. So I hope that through this way, I'm able to do some contribution in your Krishna consciousness, and I'll try to continue this with your encouragement and with the mercy of all the senior Vaishnavas.
మా గుడ్ వైబ్స్, మేము బెటర్ ఫీల్ అవుతుంటాం కదా మీరు చెప్తుంటే, అదంతా కూడా మీకు ఖచ్చితంగా బెటర్ అంటే కృష్ణ నుండి మీకు హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది.
Yes, Mataji, I believe that, and I believe all that growth that is happening in my Krishna consciousness, in my personal life, it is because of all of you actually. because the moment I started giving these classes and interacting with you, especially from June 28th, where this batch of Gita Sandesh started, where I assisted Vardha Krishna Prabhuji, things have rapidly changed for me. And I believe it is only because of all your blessings and prayers, because I know that how many impurities and anarthas I have. With that, I don't feel like this improvement is possible practically. So because only of your blessings and prayers are there, that's why I keep asking that please pray for me, please bless me, all the elder people in this group, because I also have many challenges to face and I need all of your support, just like you need support from others. Okay, so thank you so much everyone. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Have a happy Krishna conscious week ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I want to say one thing. Govardhan Prabhuji is a king of story, and your explanation is like too good. Like it seems like, yeah, please explain this also, like that. So yeah, you both are really together. Your jodi is very nice.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, because of Govardhan Prabhu only, I am here actually in a one way. He only picked me up and he actually encouraged me so many times. Now also, always.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Always thankful for Govardhan Prabhu.
Solutions, Prabhuji. We have so many issues, and for those issues, when we listen to your lecture, we get many solutions. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. Yes, Govardhan Prabhu, you are the host. You can end the meeting.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Waiting for your word, Prabhu.
You can actually, Prabhu, I know that your sleeping time is early, so you make me host. If something goes end late, then I can end it. Okay, don't disturb your schedule. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
No issue. I'm enjoying.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.